Students, we are in the last week of our summer course. It's been pretty fast and intensive, and I'm sure it's been stressful at times. But the benefit is you get your credit within 5 weeks instead of a traditional semester where you're going through the course within a 16-week period. So you're almost at the finish line. I'm going to talk to you in this video about the final project and the final coursework that needs to be wrapped up to complete your course. Now, this video is intended for two different courses I'm teaching, but the information I'm giving is relatively the same. So if what you're seeing on the screen looks slightly different than the course you're in, please just disregard that. The information is relatively the same for both courses. We've been working on concepts for developing and delivering a speech presentation in the last couple weeks. Your final project is to develop an outline and use that outline to record and present a speech. So you will submit an outline to me, and you will use that outline to record and present a speech presentation. Now, what you're seeing here on the screen are the two final folders for the course. It looks like it's going to be a bunch of work. You're really just doing two things. You're developing an outline, and then you're turning in a speech presentation. If you're in my 1321 course, there's a brief quiz that goes along with the information. But aside from that, the information is relatively the same here. The other folder that you're seeing here is just a review and extra credit option. It's not anything intensive. But I do want to remind you that the course ends on Friday. I can't extend the due dates. Once Friday hits and it ends, you will no longer have access to the course. Now, that's not an instructor decision. That's an institution decision. That's just the end of the semester. So please know all of your coursework has to be completed by Friday, July 1st. All right, so let's look at this informative speech project in this folder here. And I'm going to click on that. And you can see here that there's 4 items. There's a summary. There's a registration for a software called PitchVantage. Here's some information on developing your speech project, and then you're going to submit your speech outline here. Let's start with the summary. So basically it's telling you the steps that you have to take to complete your project. So, let's fix this here. The first thing you're going to do is record or register for PitchVantage. This is the software we're going to use for you to present your speech. I'm going to show you that in a moment. Then you're going to develop a speech outline. Now, I've covered that in previous weeks, but I have a review for you in this folder in case you need a refresher on how to develop the outline. You put together your video, 5 to 7 minutes. You submit your outline and your video. So that's basically what it's saying here. Now, if you're an early college high school student, there'll be an alternative way to record and upload your video. I'm going to go over that here on the next link, which is this one here that says register for PitchVantage. So PitchVantage is a software that gives you a simulated audience, and the audience will respond to how you are presenting your information. You're going to record your speech on the site, and the audience will either nod their heads if you're being engaging, or they'll look at their watch, at their phone, they may yawn, they may look around if you're not engaging them. The goal of using the PitchVantage site or the software is you want people to be nodding their heads and focusing on you while you speak. Now, the other thing about the PitchVantage site is you are allowed to record your video as many times as you want. It's going to give you a score. It's going to give you a score at the end of your video. Now, when you get that score, you can either be satisfied with it or try again, but it's going to let you know exactly what you did to get that score and how you can improve on that score. So I've had students before that got a 73 and they didn't like that, so they recorded their presentation again and they got an 82, and they didn't like that, so they recorded again until they got an A. I've had other students that recorded their videos 2 or 3 times and got a B, 85, 86, and they were good with that. But you get to decide what the high score is for yourself. So you can record as many times as you want. And I will only take the high score for you, unlimited attempts. Now, if you're an early college high school student, then you will record your video on YouTube, record your video, upload it to YouTube, and then provide me the URL. If you are just a traditional college student, you'll click this link here and you will register for the PitchVantage site, this link right here. It has to be here because that is the account that I created for our class. Now the rest of this shows you about setting yourself up for PitchVantage. Please note that there's certain software web browsers that PitchVantage wants you to use. You either use Google Chrome or Firefox. You can't use Microsoft Edge. You can't use Safari for recording your PitchVantage video. So please keep that in mind. The reason I say early college high school students have to do this differently is because you're going to be paying $25 for the software. Remember, there was no cost for the textbook for this class, the ebook. The only cost you have is this software for the course. Now, if you're an early college high school student that would prefer to incur the cost here and record your video so that you have unlimited attempts, feel free to do it. But please know this, if you record your video without using the PitchVantage software, I will evaluate it and I will determine what your score is there. On the PitchVantage software, if you get an 85, you get an 85. If you get a 93, you get a 93. You will see your score immediately. Here, you're going to have to wait for me to, if you record it the traditional way and then upload it to YouTube, I will evaluate it personally, and then I will determine your score that way. And that's a one-time recording. Can't be edited. You can't splice it up. It has to be one-time recording. And then I will evaluate it and score it. If you do it on PitchVantage, you have multiple attempts until you get the score that you prefer. I'm not trying to persuade you to use the software, early college high school students. I'm just letting you know the difference between the two. If you prefer to incur the cost, $25, then you can record your speech unlimited times, and you have the benefit of using that software beyond this class as well to practice for your other presentations. All right, so you're going to register for a PitchVantage account. This next link here is the informative speech information. So this is going to look a little overwhelming when I click on it. If you've ever seen this program before, it's called Padlet. And this program allows me to present material in a number of different ways. In this case, it's a series of ribbons that I chose for the layout. Rather than a PDF file where you have to scroll for information, you have the information laid out in a series of ribbons here, and each ribbon tells you what that information is so that you can quickly access it if you'd like to. All right, so just very briefly, let me go through this. Right here is this blue ribbon here is an overview of your project. So whenever you click on these ribbons, you can click on it by itself and it'll open here. You can download it, or you can open it in a new window. In my case, I like to open it in a new window. So I'll do that here. And you can see this is just an overview of the speech project. So it's an informative speech. Your goal is to give information to your audience. You have to submit an outline. Your speech should be 5 to 7 minutes. You have to cite one source per point in the body of your speech. Please make a note of this. The outline says 2 to 5 points. I want you to stick to 2 points so that you can focus on recording your speech and the delivery, and not worrying about giving an extensive speech where you may or may not meet the time limit. So one source per point. So that's one citation per point for 2 points. You have to use at least 2 different types of supporting material. We covered that in class, and I'm going to show you a review of that here in this folder. You have to use one presentation aid. We covered that in class. I'm going to show you how to, a quick review of that in a moment. And then you have to be mindful of your delivery. That's how you'll be scored primarily. All right, so this right here was an overview of the project you're going to give. In this blue ribbon, I said that you had to put together an outline. Well, here is an example of an outline put together. Here is a lecture I gave on the outline. Here is an example of an outline being presented by a student. So if you needed a review of the outline, it's right there. The outline, if you follow the outline for your speech, you're going to be successful because the outline is worth 75% of your grade is up. Well, not the outline per se, but following that structure. All right, in this overview, I said that you had to use presentation aids. There is a one-page review on presentation aids. I said that you had to use supporting material, at least 2 kinds. There is a one-page review on supporting material right there. I said that you had to use source citations. There is a review on source citations. I said you had to be mindful of your delivery. There is a review on how to be mindful of your delivery and delivery techniques. So everything that we've covered in this class, you have a review of it here in the Padlet. All right, so I've covered a number of these ribbons fairly quickly, a quick overview of them. If you are an early college high school student that is not going to use the PitchVantage site, you will need to use this item right here. For all other students that are using the PitchVantage site, you don't need to mine to that purple ribbon there. That's for the early college high school students. All other students, you're going to record your speech on the PitchVantage site. Now, if you need help choosing a topic, you're allowed to pick any topic you'd like, but as long as it's legal and it's not overly controversial, if it's, you can't do a topic that's illegal. I've had some incidents with students before, so no. But aside from that, you're allowed to pick any topic you'd like. This is how you're going to be evaluated on your speech if you're an early college high school student submitting it through YouTube. Otherwise, you'll be evaluated on your speech based on the criteria on the PitchVantage site. Okay, so this gives you the information for putting your speech together. My recommendation to you is to watch this video, because in this video, I put a series of ribbons showing you exactly how the outline fits into the presentation. So I said in the outline that you have to have an attention-getting statement, you have to have a credibility statement, you have to state your thesis, you have to have supporting material, you have to cite sources. In that video, I put on the bottom of the video in little blue ribbons each time that speaker uses supporting material, cites sources. I reference every single part of the speech as a student is using the outline to give his speech. 5 to 6 minutes, I think the speech is, not too long. So it gives you a good idea of how your speech is supposed to look. When I was a student, it helped me when the instructor showed me examples of what I had to turn in, whether it was a written project, or in this case, this is a presentation. When I saw an example of it, it made it easier for me to put together my own project. So I want to extend that courtesy to you. Here's an example of a student giving a speech, and over here is an example of an outline that you have to turn in. So this first page just gives you a quick overview of the outline. Right below that, on page 2, this is exactly how you have to turn in your outline. Roman numeral 1, attention getter, credibility, audience relevance, thesis, previewed points. If this does not look familiar to you, watch the instructor lecture on the speech outline. I go over all of this in detail. You're going to turn in an outline that looks just like this. Notice that the sources are cited in the outline. And then there's a conclusion. You're turning in your outline just like this. And then there's the references right below that. APA format. So you're going to turn in your outline like this. And then you're going to either upload your video to PitchVantage or you're going to upload your video to YouTube. Now, if you upload your video to YouTube, let me show you what you'll do here. This last link under the Informative Speech Project, this one right here, when I click on it, you're going to submit your outline here, whether you're a traditional college student or an early college high school student. If you're the early college high school student that is not using PitchVantage, you're also going to include the YouTube URL link here as well as your outline. If you're just a traditional college student, submit your outline here, and then you don't have to submit anything else because your video will be uploaded to PitchVantage. How do you upload your video to PitchVantage? I'm going to go right back here to the Register for PitchVantage link, and it shows you how to improve your score, and it shows you how to upload your video. So the video that you get the highest score on, you're going to upload it. You have to upload your video. You cannot just record your video and not upload it. You have to upload it for me so that I can view it and see if I agree with the score that PitchVantage gave you. So it shows you how to do that here. All of these links will help guide you to putting together your PitchVantage video. But you can't do anything until you register for PitchVantage, which you'll do right there in that link. All right, so this is the Informative Speech Project. It's due by Thursday at 10 p.m. Well, why is it due by Thursday at 10 p.m.? Thursday night, I'm going to baptize myself in coffee and update all of your scores on here for those speeches and for any other lingering scores you have. Friday is the last day of class. Your grades will all be available for you. So I want you to review them and email me with any questions or concerns you might have. If you don't have any questions or concerns and you're good with your grade, then you can move forward with this final folder as far as signing off on it, which is this item on the bottom, the final grade review. In the final grade review, you say I've reviewed my scores and I'm in agreement with it. If you're not in agreement with it, email me here on Blackboard with any questions, comments, or concerns you have, and we can work through it and we can look over your scores and I can explain to you why your score is the way it is, or if I made a mistake anywhere on your score, I can fix it. Now, in this final folder, you're going to acknowledge that you completed the instructor course evaluation. And it's just clicking yes, you did it. This was emailed to you. As a student, that's emailed to you. This is optional, but I'd appreciate it because this is how students are aware of the course. I have a Rate My Professor site. Evaluate the course there, and it's optional, but I'm asking you as a favor, give your impressions of the course. Here, students can see it before they take the course. Here, they can't. This is a private evaluation, it's anonymous. But down here, students can see it, they can get a sense of me as an instructor, and it's helpful for me as well so that I can see where to improve or if the things in the course that you appreciated. This is an optional extra credit. If you subscribe to my ComStudy channels, there's information in here on how to do that. If you subscribe to them, yes, I know, there's my loser stamp for asking you this. You'll get extra credit, but this is entirely optional. It's not mandatory for the course. So I'll give you some information on how to subscribe to those channels here. If you do that, you get extra credit. Your final grade will be, don't click on this until you get all of your scores in. So if you do the extra credit early, if you plan to do the extra credit, and you do these other items, and you see that they're all input in the system, then come down here and click Final Grade Review, because you will see what your final grade is. So do these as quickly as you can, and please know by 10 p.m. on Thursday, once your speeches are submitted, I will update those scores in the grade book, and by Friday you can just review your scores and sign off on the course. That was a lot of information, but that's why I'm recording it here. First of all, hope so that you can rewind and watch it again if you need to. If there's one part that was a little confusing, you can rewind this video and watch it again. Hopefully, it didn't put you to sleep and you're still with me here at the end. Um, if you have any questions or concerns, though, you can always send me an email and I will take care of your concern that way as well. Last week of the course, I'm going to be more attentive to your emails. I'll be checking them at 2 or 3 times a day now, just in case, because I want to keep up with you in case you have any questions or concerns this last week. You're almost at the finish line. Stay strong. May the force be with you.